In this lecture, I will introduce you to the Java Collections framework. By the end of it, you will know what it is and the key interfaces and classes. When we build dynamic Java applications, we don't just deal with static number of objects. We'll be having a lot of objects that are loaded into the application. The client sends in some data, we store it into a data store, and then we retrieve it back and represent it in memory as Java objects. For example, for Facebook, this could be the user profile objects. For Gmail, it could be the list of emails of a particular user. So these group of objects can represent different things depending on different applications, and their size keeps growing. For example, if it's a online ticketing reservation system, we might have a number of passengers accessing our websites whose objects we need to load into memory. That is where the collections framework comes in, and it provides us with interfaces, classes, and methods that are ready to use to store these objects and manipulate them. Unlike arrays, collection classes and their objects are dynamic. That is, they can grow in size dynamically at runtime. The collection interface in the java.util package is the key parent interface, which is implemented by three interfaces: list, set, and queue. All these three are data structures that allow us to store and manipulate objects, but each one of them have slightly different functionality. List allows duplicate objects. Set does not allow duplicate objects, as you would have learnt in mathematics. Queue is a first in, first out data structure. That is, whatever object we store first, when we retrieve something, that will be the first object that comes out. Two key implementations of list are ArrayList and LinkedList classes. You will be learning the differences between them and when to use which in lectures later on. Set does not allow duplicates. It is implemented by a class called hasSet. It has a child interface called sortedSet. The hasSet in turn is implemented by another class with a special functionality called LinkedHasSet. A linked hasSet maintains the order of elements which we add into it. So it will maintain the same exact order in which we put the elements into it. Wherever you see the linked word, you can take it that that particular collection maintains the order of objects in which we add it to the data structure. It's not the sorting order like ascending or descending, but the order in which we add the objects. On the other hand, the sorted set is implemented by a class called treeSet. Sorted set is a child interface of the set, and it is implemented by treeSet. Wherever you see the word tree in a collection, you can take it for granted that it's going to sort the objects that we store into it, either ascending or descending. More about that later on. Priority queue is the class that implements the queue interface. You can also use the linked list as a queue. Linked list interface or class implements both the list as well as the queue. It acts as a queue as well. Vector is a legacy class. We rarely touch it because all the methods on a vector are synchronized. So if you use a vector in a multi-threaded application, each object has to use the vector one at a time because all the methods are synchronized, so the performance will suck. So we rarely touch the vector class. Sometimes we need to store information as key value pairs. For example, here is the order information. 1, 2, 3 is the order ID, and this is the order object. And we'll have various scenarios where we need key and value pairs. It could be the database username, password, database connection URL, etc. That is where we use a map in Java collections. A map interface is implemented by HashMap. Map is the parent interface in java.util package. HashMap is a popular implementation which uses hashing that will be explained later on. And a sorted map is a child interface of the map. Linked HashMap is a child class of HashMap. When you see the linked word, you know that it maintains the order in which we put the elements into it. Sorted map is implemented by a tree map. If you have the word tree, that means it's going to sort the objects which we put into it. Another legacy class that we have here is a hash table that implements a map. It is very similar to hash map, but all the methods on a hash table are synchronized. So in a multi-threading environment, again, we shouldn't be using a hash table. Most of the Java applications out there are multi-threaded, so we rarely touch the hash table and vector classes. They are considered as legacy. To quickly summarize, the Java Collections API provides us a way to store and manipulate a group of objects, and they can grow. These data structures can grow dynamically at runtime as the number of objects increase. List, set, and queue are the key interfaces. If you learn these interfaces and the methods, then you need not really worry about the child classes because it's all runtime polymorphism. Similarly, if you learn the methods available on map, all the maps internally, they are implemented different. We don't care about the implementation. We only care about the methods and adding data into it, adding objects, retrieving objects, and manipulating it.